Good evening. I welcome you to the Face-Off, and I welcome you to Season 4. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good, Nagatron. Always a pleasure to see you. Drynitz, hey, man, looking good in your webcam. Looking good. My first question, Nagatron, this is for you. Did you guys underestimate Hammer Time in Season 4?
Definitely not.
Season 3, excuse me.
We've never underestimated Hammer Time, ever. We just failed execution. That was the big thing. Obviously, I took a nosedive off a cliff, which wasn't fantastic, and things started kind of spiraling from there. Everybody made mistakes, but we rallied on cliff, barely squeaked it out in a very tight match, and definitely not an underestimation. That's all I can say.
No, it wasn't. But, some teams have that type of mentality when it's like, hey, it's Hammer Time. This is the second season they're joining us. We got this in the bag. No problem. And they realize, wow, guys, that was really close. And it can shake up any type of team. But you guys are always very professional in your approaches. You're always very professional in how you treat others as well. With that professionalism, though, how have you been preparing for Season 4?
Well, I think we've been struggling quite a lot since pretty much mid to end Season 2. We've been kind of in a constant decline. WCG, Season 3, and Grand Finals obviously weren't our greatest performances ever. But everybody pretty much agreed that we were going to rally. We're going to give a real shot at this one. Some real-life stuff is catching up to some people, so we may be losing people for next season. So everybody pretty much just said, this is the season we're going to put in effort again. This is the season we're going to make sure that we make it to the finals and play the best that we can, play our heart out, and don't let the rest of that stuff really get in our way. And it's also the first season where we are not top dog. So it's nice. It's actually nice to be an underdog because it's a lot less pressure. It's very, very convenient. But with that said, I think we have the strongest team we've ever had. We are pretty well prepared. We're having a little bit of problems with ping and some other stuff like that. But with all that aside, as long as we can play the game, I feel very confident that we can do well this season. Anything can happen in WOT, especially against Hammer Time. So I've been looking forward to this match for a while.
All right, thank you, Negatron. Well said. Okay, Drynitz. What is going to make the difference that would make a huge upset happen for you guys to defeat FNATIC? What do you need to do or have done in order to create that type of moment for you?
Well, we've had really, really good matches against certain teams, and then we've had really poor matches against certain teams. And FNATIC's always a team that plays fairly well. I think maybe at the finals last time was their weakest showing against us, but that's not really saying that we played our best there either. I mean, if we play our best, I think we have a really good chance at beating them, but we just have to be consistent to do it.
And when you talk about consistency, can you be more specific? Is it shots that are missing? Is it positions that are not in the right place? Is it not adjusting to teams' placements on maps? What is the consistency you have to work on?
Being late on movements. Sometimes it's my calling. Sometimes it's somebody not thinking we're going to make a move and just being a little bit behind, and we have to delay our push until that person catches up. Sometimes it's shots. I mean, there's a lot of things. Pretty much every little aspect that goes into playing. We have to be more consistent at.
And that consistency is what's going to prove the difference between amateurs, professionals, and champions. Hammer Time, you have any words for FNATIC before we get started?
No, good luck. Usually always good matches, so we'll have another one.
Nagatron, any words?
Right back at him. Looking forward to it.
All right, gentlemen, we've been looking forward to this match for a long time. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you on the battlefield.
Oh, I got one thing.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, Drynitz. Bring it back. There we go.
He's back.
Well, I guess you probably see it's over here. We're sponsored by Logitech now, Logitech Gaming. As part of that, we're going to give away a G502 gaming mouse. You can enter the contest by answering the question on our Twitter. The Twitter address is twitter.com/hammertime_watt. We'll probably have other contests in the future too. You can check us out on our Twitch channel at Hammertime TV or on Facebook at Hammertime Team. Yeah, that's probably about it.
All right. We will tweet out that question as well, retweet it. Congratulations on your sponsorship. Thank you for that. Best of luck, gentlemen, on the battlefield. Okay, well, the tension is starting to get high as we see these two teams about to engage here in the first map. That'll be Cliff. Let's take a look at the rosters real quickly here. If we see any differences from Season 3 into Season 4, in particular on FNATIC?
Okay, on FNATIC, you can see the new person is Militant83. That's it. Everyone else, we saw last season. Militant83, talked about him getting poached from the Cunninghams earlier. That was from A. Martin. And then Hammer Time, we, let's see, changes.
Nits?
Nits.
Well,
No,
we got Son of Hell, Nits, Neander, Overlord Prime, Kriegmaster, Zazie, Dry Nits still leading them. Photo Finish still there. Not much has changed from when I'm looking at the overall rosters here.
Yeah, solid team.
Just the beginning formation of Hammer Time has changed because people have had to leave because of work, like First Tanks, Tinker 91, Hypnotic, which Hypnotic now works or has worked at Wargaming.
Yeah.
So there have been changes in the past, but from Season 3 to Season 4, not a lot of detailed changes when it comes to the roster itself. But Randall, what type of rules do these teams need for victory?
All right, I think it's on Hammer Time to win this one. So first rule is going to be mobile. FNATIC knows how to read their opponent, and that's a big thing here for Hammer Time. If they stay static for too long, I feel like FNATIC's going to be able to read them and then find the counter. All they need is time. The more time FNATIC has to figure out, the easier it is for them to actually execute. If you're constantly shifting, being mobile, being unpredictable, unreadable, they're going to be just fine. Point 2, shut down the core. I'm talking about Nagatron and Friction. If they can be shut down, if they can be harassed, and they can be distracted, then you're going to have a better time because Nagatron and Friction are the two main. I've listened to Hammer Time's comms in the past, and when they lose, it doesn't sound good. It sounds horrible. Those aren't the comms I would ever want on my team. When they're on top of their game, when they're winning, it is beautiful. It is exactly what I want. And that you can tell just by listening. It doesn't take but 3 seconds or 4 seconds to know who's going to win, who's going to lose when it's Hammer Time and their comms.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Battle number 1 is about to begin on Cliff between Hammer Time and FNATIC, the final match of the night in week number 1 for season play. Rookhill, what do we have for tanks?
For tanks, I'm looking at a Pershing, a T69, and 3 1390s. On the other side for Hammer Time, sorry, did I say FNATIC? FNATIC with the red. Blue. Hammer Time is going to have 5100 Pershing, T69, and 2 1390s.
Zazie will be leading the charge in the center on Cliff. Jackie Rudo almost reloaded, along with Militant83 with the other ones to the other side towards the east of the lighthouse. Zazie heading over to the donut alone as the rest of his team will form up in the center. He's going to hug the bottom. It looks like he's looking for any T1s. None will be that south yet. And he's going to hide behind the bushes next to the rock. Soviet way far away up top.
I like that position from Zazie. That's a very strong, good position. We're also seeing Antonio Handsome taking up the predicted positions. This is exactly pretty much the lineup that I was expecting when I looked at Cliffs today and I saw these teams. Aside from that heavy tank, that 5100 in the south, this is it.
Overlord Prime dancing back and forth, has not fired a shot yet. Nagatron has fired one, I believe, out of his 1390. Or no, excuse me, out of the T1. He's actually in a T1 in this battle.
He just kind of peppered somewhere. I don't know why. And maybe just blind fire. But he's going to be sitting in the T1 being a commander. You've got Relics being the other T1 for FNATIC. He's waiting back at the base. They're playing a more defensive lineup, or rather layout, for their variation on Cliff north side. Usually the T1s in the past, when they feel like being very defensive, they'll hold way back. And instead it looks like they're just going to be at the base. Covering Relics is going to be Soviet. Interesting to choose a sniping 1390.
Oh, shot fired towards NYPD. It's a bounce as he slides down. He does track himself, but he's okay. Another shot towards photo finish. So close.
That's Antonio Handsome looking for those shells. He's in that middle position, that, Delta 4 little defilade. Position that is not uncommon to be seen, especially by teams like FNATIC, who know this map fairly well, who've studied it. He's able to cover both the east and the west from there, and if he decides, he can just drive right on out of it.
One tank is spotted on the side of FNATIC in the red. One tank spotted for Hammer Time, NYPD.
And it looks like Friction is deciding he wants to blind fire off into the west, expecting that there's a 1390 probably moving up to get cover fire. Although he is shooting a bush, which is strange. Thought he was going for the blind fire. Guess he just doesn't like trees. Oh, and that's lumberjacking with HE. I love it. I didn't notice it first. That is HE. And, okay, time for me to bring something really cool up. Okay, with HE, doesn't matter what tank, you can actually knock down trees, cut them down with HE. You just have to fire at the right spot. And let's fly over to... Oh, it's spot. Let's go. And we're going to go look at where he fired, if I can. Right here. See? Right where the
Nice.
tree was. And he cut it down. Took him about 2 shells, because I think one of them landed in the bush ahead of it. It's hard to aim. It just is hard to aim, because sometimes a little RNG doesn't go your way.
Friction gets hit for 239. That shot came from Sassy. NYPD is connected. You can hear his French crew going crazy after they get shot.
They're not happy.
I wouldn't be happy either if I was inside of a small tank that just got shot by a giant AP round, or APCR round.
I would
Right through the turret.
probably be dead.
Right here.
Actually, that... Oh. Yeah, that
Hit
looks
the
like a
gun.
dead gunner.
Yeah, hit the gun.
That's where the gunner is. Right behind there is the gunner, and then to the left inside of that barrel is... Oh, you left it.
Driver. Sorry, I want to check at Overlord Prime.
Okay. Well,
See if
it's
any
the
more
same
connections.
layout, the American tanks,
Yeah.
almost. I think. Let me think. No, it's opposite. Commander is on the right, and then the gunner is on the left. Yeah, well, at least for the Pershing.
A couple peppered shots on both sides, but no full movement yet. Still plenty of time, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And in order to photo finish in the Pershing, no tanks available for him to target fire. He's behind some cover. Drynitz in the 5100 is further back, anticipating a push from Friction over the hill, as he has his gun aimed in that section, but nothing yet. Now we pass the 5-minute mark between both teams. Son of Hail in the T1 scouting on the west. Nitz scouting on the east. Both teams still playing very patiently here on both sides. A little more information about Nitz. He is a new player. He is a new player on the team. They have him in a T1, not a Tier 8 this time. But they're trying to put him in different situations so they can see how he performs. Kind of a trial by fire addition. He likes to play any take, and he thinks Liebestad is the coolest person in the world. Maybe not the world, but at least on the team.
I'm not sure that's true, because I interviewed Liebestad
yeah,
for a lot of that information.
Liebestad. That's Liebestad's words, not Nitz's.
Yes. We'll have to verify that in the future. I always thought that was cute when he said it. I was like, okay, Liebestad. Okay.
Okay.
Sure thing.
Well, he just thinks... I mean, who doesn't think Liebestad is cool? That's
he
a
was
fact.
fairly interesting.
Not an
yes.
opinion, it's a fact. Especially his choice in classical music. A little bit of movement coming out of FNATIC. They could be linking up here to go to the east. Is that what you're seeing, Rukil?
I am.
Okay.
Jackie Rudo getting up behind Nagatron. Militant as well, and it looks like Soviet is driving around in the backfield, being Soviet. And he's not going to go with East Push. He says, no, I'm going to go my own way.
Friction has been hit from earlier. So's NYPD. Drynitz is reloading. Man, if this was a good time to come on down, it's now.
Oh, looks like Naga's spotted Nitz as well. Naga goes down. Shots fired, ammo rack onto Nitz. A little bit of overkill, wouldn't you think?
A little bit, but Jackie Rudo and Militant are going to fall back.
Oh, wasted
since that,
shell.
Since that T1 was there.
Wasted. Completely wasted shell there from the 1390s.
2 minutes and 50 seconds. Dryness and Overlord Prime still staying in the center, not pushing. And FNATIC is not going to push into a scenario where they can't fully commit to a guaranteed tank kill when Friction is low and Antonio Handsome is further back. He has maintained that position the entire battle. And even though an east side could have happened for FNATIC, because of the place in that T1, it stopped him in its tracks.
But now Soviet able to hold this position, and Antonio also in an incredible position to hold off any aggression. Hammer Time's probably not going to be able to find any way of attacking at this point. 1:50 seconds left in the battle, and not a whole lot accomplished. Unfortunately, FNATIC was not able to follow up on their attack. Negatron unable to defeat Nitz, and now here's the push.
Yep. The 1:41 to go. Plenty of time if they're able to land all their shots to get a number of kills, but is it enough to get the win? NYPD falls from Antonio. Drynets fires against Jackie, and that's a miss. He continues to fire again. Another miss against Jackie Rudo from long range. Jackie Rudo dances back and forth. 2 shots left. Militant with 1. After taking a volley of 1,194, Soviet's able to track 2 shots against Drynets. Jackie Rudo fires once, misses. And Antonio Handsome, once he finishes his reload, will focus in on Drynets, as he has taken no damage. It's 3 tanks still left alive for Hammer Time. Zazie is all the way to the left, and the T1 is way down to the south. Drynets is in trouble. Antonio Handsome has 1 more shot, and he gets it. Now FNATIC will push as fast as they can to get the kill, and one's going to have to head south to get the T1 immediately. Relics, in a defensive mode, can still spot Zazie. At least he is spotted. And Zazie will be reloaded in a matter of seconds. He is reloaded. He sees the shot, takes it against Relics, misses. 32 seconds left. FNATIC's going to have to move fast. Zazie's at full HP. Shot fired from a distance from Militant as he comes down the mountain. It's a miss.
Jackie is closing the distance. He's going to be the first 1390 there. Zazie is going to be able to hide for a little while. 15 seconds, that is enough time to get the kill. Shots fired, 2 connections. Jackie gets the second shot, and Zazie's going to miss.
1 shot from Antonio Handsome, and they get it. Can Soviet get Son of Hail to the south? Son of Hail is behind the rock with 3 seconds left to go. Soviet is too far away, and it will be a draw. Soviet was just 5 feet away from getting the T1 kill. So close. So close. But that is the type of scenario where Hammer Time knew they were not going to win the brawl mode. They sent that T1 to the south. That was a tough, tough draw for FNATIC.
But I don't think FNATIC's going to be all that bothered by it. The thing is, they weren't the ones attacking. They defended, they deflected the aggression. Hammer Time were the ones who messed up there. That wasn't FNATIC working incredibly hard and somehow coming across with a victory. They were defending, and they happened to defend really well. It's not really up to them whether or not they had been able to win there, because Hammer Time was able to salvage it. They knew the timing. They pushed in. They said, well, if we lose this fight, we're going to be able to draw it out. No problem. There's no way they can get to us. Yeah. And that's what happened.
Yeah. That Eastern play would have been fun to see, but the placement of that 1T1, taking out Negatron as well, completely shut it down. But from there was this timing to, even though you can't see what had happened from the opponent's reactions, there's that uh-oh, are they going to come? Are they coming to the east? We don't know what's happening. So they almost are on the back of their seats waiting to see if that aggression, if that danger is going to come to the other side and then be ready to swing that way. So where do you go from there as FNATIC? You've already set up a point of aggression. It gets halted. How do you still keep your opponent guessing where you're going to come from?
That's difficult. You can try and I'd say show up on the other side of the map, maybe go to the west, go up into the the ramp to get to the middle, maybe up there and try and do something, and then go back across again. You have to just keep mobile. Yeah. It's doing the advice that I gave to Hammer Time, but giving it to FNATIC.
It's tough, too, because Antonio Handsome is in a good position. They don't want to move him away from that position because he's stopping a lot of the pushes coming from the center line. Well, let's see what's going to happen on the next battle. The next battle is going to take place on ENCE between FNATIC and Hammer Time. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, I'm looking at 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, against 3 5100s, and 2 IS-3s.
Mirror matchup.
It's all down to execution from here.
That it is. Also placement. And FNATIC is going to place their tanks towards the east, and Hammer Time is doing the same.
Yes. All right. I can get down with this. Double east side play. Both teams going to probably meet and be a little surprised that someone else is there. Oh, why are they shooting things? Militant. I don't understand. Destroying all this stuff so you can shoot through the layer. Who does that?
Militant does that. Zazie is the first one in the lead. Oh, he's going to hit some of some of the logs, launch himself up. From a distance, FNATIC is going to have more ground covered by the time Hammer Time hits to the east, and they're going to have some of that lumber mill cover.
And they're so close. Drynet's photo finish. Zazie also very close to being able to take fire. They will have the high ground, though, even though they won't have the cover.
And Militant is able to unload against Overlord Prime first for the initial blood on the map.
All right, Friction's going to be looking off to the west. Drynet's having to back off to it, definitely. I'm really surprised that he hasn't actually been able to take fire yet. Jackie Rudo in a great position to flank to the southwest of Hammer Time's position. Shots being fired by Photo Finish. Don't know where. Oh, into Friction. For Friction.
Is another hit.
Yep.
Overlord's going to hold this position. Nitz is going to look towards the wall in case Jackie Rudo pops through that section. And only one tank is still spotted, and that's Overlord Prime. Son of Hail unloaded his volley of fire. No connections, it looked like.
Well, what at, though?
I can't tell.
Something on the base?
I don't know if it's the fence. The fence is still there. Maybe he just got mad at this house.
No, the house looks fine.
No.
Yeah. Oh, now we've got T1s destroying stuff. Hugo Maximus going for some of the buildings. After they destroy everyone's homes, livelihoods, I mean, maybe they can start fighting each other.
Standstill again from both teams. Fired. Did not connect.
Good old
Prime.
IS-3 games.
Yeah. Well, the railroad looks completely open. It is completely open.
Yes, but if you find yourself pushing up that way and you are discovered, then you're going to see a crazy push. Hugo Maximus, speaking of crazy pushes, is actually going for an active scout run in a T1 Cunningham. And now shots fired, connection onto Zazie, and he will go down. There he dies. Overlord Prime is the only one spotted, though, and just crazy T1 pushes. I don't even know. Don't even know.
Well, the only information he was able to gather is where Nitz was. At least maybe where one of the shots came from. And that's it. Frictions, or Militant actually, is still spotted. 2 tanks spotted, Drynet's and Overlord Prime. Drynet's had taken a hit a little bit earlier. He's at 5 shells.
I think that's from Antonio Handsome. In the high ground to the north of Drynet's position. We've seen Militant 83 staying still, but Friction has moved up, and he's now reverse angling a little bit just to try and get a shot onto Overlord Prime. Fortunately, no connections here. Overlord Prime is too well positioned. Drynet's still in that high ground is such a threat, preventing FNATIC from making a push. Also, FNATIC doesn't look like they want to make a push right now. They've got Antonio in a great position. The crossfire is beautiful. If Hammer Time wants to push, they're going to lose. That's how it's going to be in this battle. If they hold their position, I don't know if FNATIC's going to be able to make a push, but it does look a little bit more of a choice option for FNATIC than it is Hammer Time.
Past the 6-minute mark, any reset could happen here once you approach the 5. Drynet's and Photo Finish staying close together at battle buddy positions of the 5100, ready to punish any mistake that FNATIC makes. But this is FNATIC, a team that was the Season 1 and Season 2 champion. And they're waiting for Hammer Time to get antsy. They're waiting for Hammer Time to poke out a little bit too far. They're waiting for Hammer Time to think that they can find a weak spot in FNATIC's placement and then to punish him for it. A lot of waiting from both sides of these teams here, but it's still high tension waiting. They're not waiting way back in their bases and saying, "Come to me." They're in places of engagement that can happen, but a difference has to be one of the tanks from the south on either side swinging over to the west, moving up to the center, and then coming to the side to create a flank. But once they're spotted and they get isolated, it'll completely break down. It'll be a falling point, a breaking point for the team rather than a solid execution of offensive strategy.
And I think blind fire needs to start happening here from these IS-3s a little more into the eastern high ground held by those Hammer Time 5100s. If they can do that, I think we could see a little extra damage here and there. Militant fires on the Drynet's, has a talk about that. Militant's ammo rack is hit. Drynet's, I don't know if he felt the same, but it hurt a little worse.
Drynet's got a hit. Militant looks like he used that kit, though.
Probably.
Get the reload. He's reloading in enough time for it to be average.
He should be fine.
Drynitz is at 50 HP, 50% HP, I should say. 704 hit points total. And he's reloading.
All right. Well, FNATIC isn't reloading. No one. Antonio, Jackie, Soviet.
All loaded. All ready to go. Now
Talk
there's
about that west side. That west side.
Soviet.
He may move up the tracks, or he could just be there to deflect that west side that you're talking about.
Yeah, well, this is another setup from FNATIC I'm looking at here, and they need to pull this trigger 5 seconds earlier than what they were able to do against Hammer Time on Cliff in order to get the win.
Well, we'll see if they actually pull the trigger if Hammer Time decides that they want to just make a crazy push again.
3 minutes, 30 seconds. NYPD, close to the lumber mill. Behind Overlord Prime, that is, and Nitz. Looking over towards the west itself, looking right at the railroad tracks, where a tank, if it decided to move to the south, would pop up and surprise them. And they're going to wait. Passive play from both teams, but not passive placements. FNATIC is still not pushing forward like we saw on Cliff. Drynitz, he's hanging back behind cover. He doesn't want to be the first one to get hit. Photo finish reloading. Meaning that in the next 20 seconds, no damage will be coming out towards FNATIC. Now, one of the tanks, looks like Jackie Rudo, is hanging back. And they may be swinging another way. One tank is spotted, so's photo finish. And I see tanks approaching down the railroad tracks.
Yep.
But they're also placing one of their T1s away from the danger.
And that is Jackie Rudo, Soviet. They're going to sack Nagatron back. And those 5100s are moving on down. The engagement will begin soon. They'll keep Nagatron safe, maybe have him get on cap. And Jackie should be spotted shortly. But no, not yet. Nitz takes a hit. That'll soften him up, make him an easy target. And Jackie comes around the corner.
That first engagement allowed Nitz to try to move forward, it seemed, but not enough time. Soviet is hurt, but he's still alive, and Jackie Rudo's going to have to cover Soviet as he falls back. NYPD takes another hit against Soviet, and Friction pushes up for a shot against NYPD. Jackie Rudo with 2 more shots. Lines up for a hit on NYPD. Misses. Wow. Right into the side of the building. Now Friction's going to push up. NYPD still has another shot. Friction takes that Overlord. Photo finish.
Oh, beautiful shot by NYPD to take down Soviet.
That was some patient play. Jackie Rudo missing one of those shots. It's crucial.
Oh, beautiful track onto NYPD. Jackie Rudo probably didn't expect that. Was trying to actually leave the fight.
Nope. 3 Tier 8s left alive for FNATIC. 2 alive for Hammer Time. On the flag cap, minute and 20. Now 40 seconds. And nice shot from a distance from Friction, allowing Nagatron to stay alive. The flag cap has reset, but Nagatron needs to get behind Jackie Rudo, and they can still get the victory. Shot fired against Son of Hail. Photo finish from up top. From long range, he's going to have to fire down south, maybe even blind fire to get the win. The last tank, the 3rd tank, should get on the flag cap as soon as he can to make sure this is a guaranteed win. Militant fires into photo finish. One shot is absorbed, another one is hit. He's hurting.
Is ammo rack hit?
Yeah, looks like it was. 6 seconds left. Photo finishes 2 shots.
3.
Can he get there in time?
1.
He's going to fire down. And the base has been captured. FNATIC is able to get the victory with 11 seconds left to go.
Nice play. That's it. Waited for the last second to execute, kept Nagatron kind of out of the fight, then decided, let's just get on the cap. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, and well done by Friction, getting that shot, stopping that tank that could have took down Friction. Had 2 shots left. Good calculated play. Again, they are taking their time. This is a dangerous kind of FNATIC. This is a FNATIC that says, hey, you know, that stuff works for Simp. Hey, that stuff works for Russian teams. We're going to put a little bit of that ingredient of long, patient play. Some say it can't be play, but no, it's where their position is to stop Hammer Time from aggressing against them, and they're going to wait for the right time to attack.
Yeah. Well, looking at the damage from this map, Photo Finish was able to do a spectacular job in his 5100, able to do 2,397. which is well above anyone else on his team. Militant83, a new member of FNATIC, is actually performing rather well. He got 2,200 damage out on his IS-3. I was wondering if we'd see him perform more or if we'd get to see him play at all, but it looks like he's actually going to be a top performer on FNATIC.
Yeah.
Welcome, Militant83, to the Gold League's FNATIC.
Yeah, welcome to the team. He's replacing Hugo Maximus' usual tank to play the IS-3. Hugo Maximus, very fine fellow, good performer, but one of the reasons that FNATIC was having trouble is that they were playing choking. They were choking in international tournaments. They would do just fine in season play in 1 and 2, but something just was not triggering well for them. It was either the amount of hype or how high the stakes were, or the intimidation within their own minds, but it was not the same FNATIC that I was used to commentating.
Yeah, when they went to international, it was a bit different.
I mean, even in China, there was just instances where we're going, shoot, fire, go for it. And they'd pop out at the right time and they would fire and it would miss, or they just wouldn't shoot in time, and thinking, there's something off. It's not your skill. You're better than this. We've seen you better than this, but it was something else. And a lot of that, too, the only answer is experience. The only answer is actually going to those tournaments and knowing what it's like, being in a high-stakes environment, being in an environment where the computers are different, being in an environment where the sounds, the lights are different, and still be able to perform your best game.
It's very difficult, though. When you're in a live setting trying to play a game that you've been practicing and playing, in your room for years and years, then you have to take that into a completely different environment. You have to rethink everything. You have to be prepared for something that you can't. You can't just sit there and have your friends cheer for you in your room or something while you play World of Tanks at home. That would be weird, one. But it would be...
I'd cheer for you.
You would come in, you would sit in my living room where my computer is now, and you would cheer for me to help me practice for a live event.
If there was food, yes.
I'd provide food. We have some...
yeah.
We have some good stuff at the house.
Our technical director, Mike Ulacki, would watch.
Well, of course.
I'm pretty sure Tommy Birdman would watch.
We have a hot tub.
Cameron Camdozer Reed would watch, our admin.
He lives there.
Ian St. Loris, who takes care of the replays that we have on. I think he would watch.
I think he's moving in with me.
Oh, well, then he's forced to watch. He's bringing the nachos.
He's got to be bringing the nachos. He's going to be taking the upstairs room.
I want nachos. I'm hungry.
Out hummus?
No, I have had enough hummus. I've had enough hummus for a lifetime.
There's no such thing as enough hummus.
I want to get some nachos, man.
What you want to try is hummus and waffles.
What?
It's so good. If you can't get pita,
yeah,
if you don't have pita, you get waffles.
This is what happens when you break rootkill, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there was a disconnect. The player is back. Everything is good to go. Next battle is going to take place on Mines, my favorite map. Here we go. FNATIC is up 1-0 against Hammer Time, battle number 3. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, looking at 5100, T32, T69, 21390s. 5100, T32, T69, 21390s for Hammer Time.
Oh, no waffles for this to dip in your hummus. You're crazy. I've never heard of such a thing. And yet I will probably try it. T32s, man. Here we go. The tank with no cons. I'm going to follow Zazzy again in the 1390 as NYPD and him are going to be heading towards the mines in the middle. FNATIC looks like they're doing the same thing. All-out brawl mode. Why not? Let's do it. Who's the better team? FNATIC has showed some great, impressive play using the rocks and cover up top. Zazzy's not going to be loaded yet. Neither is Jackie Rudo. Not even engaging. Oh, shots fired against NYPD. There's a little bit of crash
team damage.
Oh, not good. NYPD gets hit.
Now Jackie and Soviet. We've seen this kind of thing before from Nagatron and Soviet. And they're loaded, ready to go. Who will get the first connections? Soviet looks to be backing up a little bit. Tension on the top of the hill. I'll be watching below.
NYPD is poised to strike first, further away, and he does. Can Soviet return fire? No.
Now Friction will be trying to keep tankers off the top of the hill. Fires at it, Photo finish, but Photo jukes it.
Here's a standstill again between both the teams. Friction's going to dance back and forth. NYPD and Zaz are going to stay. NYPD falls back a little bit here. Let's take a look at his viewpoint. All he sees is rocks. And he pulls back even further. He sees Jackie. Jackie gets a shot for 245. NYPD can't return fire.
All right, that's a nice way to do it, but no, 207. See a connection there. Now looks like Photo Finish wants to get up on the hill. Not able, just barely.
Know that Zazi's still up there. That's why they're not going to try to overmatch against NYPD. Shots fired.
Overlord Prime's putting shells towards Friction, I guess. But Friction's just too awesome in the T-32. And those shells cannot connect.
Who's the tank way up north? The heavy tank. Is that Militant?
That's Militant 83 and a 5100.
Sniping in the 5100 from far away.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to find that much to do up there. It's kind of far away.
Now, this is where I could see the 5100 moving down the east road.
Maybe.
That
there's shots fired.
Shot fired against Zazi. And Soviet's going to push up. NYPD hits. Oh, so does Soviet. They hit the mine shaft. I'm surprised the thing hasn't crumbled. NYPD's almost down. Zazi tries to cover. Here's a shot on Soviet.
One more.
Jackie Rito pushes up. Zazi's doing a good job of covering NYPD. Oh, missed shot. They're waiting for it. They can't get it, and Jackie Rito's tracked, and Photo Finish is moving up, and he gets the kill against Jackie Rito. Soviet's in trouble.
And Friction goes down right below the hill. T-32 is dead. Now Soviet has one shell left, and he is tracked. I don't think he has a kit anymore. Tries to get the track shot, but no.
And he's down. Photo Finish gets the kill. NYPD and Zazi and Photo Finish are low, but they're still alive. But here comes Militant. And now he's on his own as Antonio Handsome falls.
Yeah, this fight I don't know what FNATIC was doing here.
Well, Militant was just not in the engagement at all until now. And even though he has one more shot, oh, jeez. NYPD could almost get it. Photo Finish is able to deal more damage, gets a kill. Photo Finish now on the run to take down the T1s as the Hammer Time's going to head to the north, and Hammer Time's going to take this.
Yeah, it'll tie up the series 1-1. And that's a pretty strong record there against FNATIC. I wasn't sure how FNATIC... Oh, wow, those two misses from Zazie and NYPD. Yeah. There they go. Hugo's the only one left in T1. Not a lot of action from those T1s, actually. Neither of them were trying to push up as much. They were just sitting back, waiting around, hoping, I don't know, that something would come to them. But when nothing did, defensive play from the north on FNATIC. Not my ideal version of how to play mines. South is a great way to defend.
Yeah, it they got overmatched on the cliff or on the hill itself. Once Soviet and Jackie Rito fell, it was GG from there. And Hammer Time goes for the base capture, and they able to get it. Tying up the series 1-1. That's going to take us to battle number 4.
All right, it's let's talk about the way FNATIC played.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
So FNATIC does what we've seen numerous times in the past, 21390s up to the hill. In the past, we've seen Nagatron and Soviet go up on the hill and perform beautifully, winning numerous times. Sometimes they'd lose, sometimes, well, most of the time, they'd win. Right now, we're watching Jackie Rito and Soviet play on the hill. The synergy right there, I'm not sure. Jackie Rito seemed to get a little aggressive at times, where Soviet wasn't as aggressive, and if they'd both gotten aggressive at the same time, maybe it works out, fight, they get more damage out, someone misses a shell, they do just fine. But when it's one tank doing one thing, one tank doing the other, it doesn't feel like they're working together as much. Also, Militant 83 and a 5100 kind of on that Overwatch position.
He did the most damage though. He was 6 for 6 for 1,445.
That was when he came in later.
But when you're in that Overwatch and you have nothing to fire against, there's a pretty good key indicator of, well, we can wait, or we can use the 5100 and the T1 to move down the east side, not get scouted. Then once we are scouted, we can pull back. It's a fake, and that's going to leave the enemy guessing where we're going. Or we're not scouted at all, and then you have a second piece of danger to where now they have to look straight ahead, and now they have to look to the right. That's going to pull at least one of the turrets that can allow that center staging to push forward.
No, they just get to push forward into the tanks and destroy them. You lose your T-32 and your T-69. Easy.
But the 5100 is fast enough to get behind him.
No, but the thing is, he's out of the fight, that even though he'll get there eventually, the damage is already dealt. You need all tanks firing at one time. You need that going, or else you're at a disadvantage. You have one tank effectively out. While he can come in late, maybe he can clean up. Not going to be as effective as if he were actually in the fight.
Well, not when you have 3 different pairings. You have the T-32 holding one position. You have 2 tanks in the center. I mean, yes, if they were able to do it like that, of course, it's a complete overmatch. But how these two teams are playing, they're taking forever to start an engagement.
Yeah, but they're on the Hammer Time is on the ball. They knew when to push up. They knew when to go around. There was not a lot of hesitation there. It may have been slow, but it was very deliberate.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Battle number 4 is going to take place on Pearl Herelka between these two teams. What do we have for tanks?
For tanks, 2 Pershings, a T-69, and 2 1390s for the side of FNATIC. On the other side, Hammer Time, 2 T-32s, T-69, and 2 1390s. Will mobility win, or will the T-32's hit points?
Come on, no cons. Hammer Time could prove how these hold-down positions can lock in this map, but look at FNATIC, though. They're taking the east side. They're not going to engage on the west. And Photo Finish and Drynets are figuring this out pretty quickly, since they're not seeing active scout runs in the center.
And this is probably they've been practicing with FNATIC a little bit. They know what they're going to bring on this map. And so this is the strat from FNATIC right now, what they've decided they like. And Hammer Time's prepared for it. They're not going to waste time putting a great distance between the two of them and then trying to make that hold down game work. No, they're going to move up and they're just going to start the fight. Friction taking the first hit.
Friction did take the first take here. These consistent fire tanks are going to pop up, fire, and pull back. Another shot. They're just blind firing now. They're firing at trees.
Just got to take down a lot of these buildings. There's quite a bit of cover there. If you can destroy it, then awesome. Although I think they're actually just firing at friction as best they can.
Yeah.
Just poke in his general direction. Maybe you'll get some hits here and there.
Last on any position. They're also firing up on the east, on the hill. Ooh, there goes that roof.
Yeah. T-32s, man, they've just got enough ammo. You just keep shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of not using all this ammo? Fire some HE.
Almost at the 8-minute mark. Left in the battle, Son of Hail. He is taking a look at the red flag cap. Doesn't see anything there really except Nagatron earlier on, who was spotted.
Yeah. And he almost took a shell, but smart move. Saved him. Now only Jackie Rudo was the last tank spotted somewhere in the north against Nits. Hugo Maximus may be able to catch him by surprise.
NYPD is close to the red flag cap as well. He's not spotting anything. Nagatron has now just left the railroad track, or the other side of the railroad track, but he'll stay spotting to the south.
Ah, shots fired by Militant. Able to get a connection onto Drynets. Nice, right through the trains, actually. And with that, he could crawl back up there. Look right under the trains with these T-32s on him. T-34s, excuse me.
Yes, T-34s.
Yeah, I'm used to saying T-32 so much.
Sometimes in the qualifiers, you'll see the American T-34.
Oh.
Slow tank, but it's got some firepower.
I loved it when it was a Tier 9. Those were the days, Clutch.
It was a Tier 9 regular tank, not a premium?
It was Tier 9 heavy.
Wow, way
awesome.
back in the day. That'd
Yeah.
be about over 2 years ago. Jackie Rudo takes down Nits. Some blood on the field now. And Zazie, he's still holding back in the bush. Still waiting for a tank to creep up over that railroad track and take a shot. Not going to be the case. Not going to be the case yet.
Soon TM.
Randall, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm surprised both these teams are as hesitant to engage. Hammer Time I can understand. Now, some people say, well, they're nervous. I think that they've both been practicing so hard that they're waiting for the right timing, and neither team is giving them the right timing to execute, to pull that trigger.
It's if you make one little mistake against a team like Hammer Time, or if you're Hammer Time and you make one little mistake against a team like FNATIC, it's over. You're not going to be able to recover very well because this team will punish you, and they are relentless. So you can't take too many risks because there are windows of opportunity for your opponent to counter you. Now, this is one of those opportunities where Drynets has made a little mistake. Now, a little mistake from Jackie Rudo and Soviet has probably prevented them from doing as much damage as they'd like, but little damage here and there it's kind of happening. Soviet, Jackie, Militant all taking damage.
Oh, photo finish. Bounces a shot off Militant. Militant is able to lock in a shot against the hole of photo finish. It's where you want to aim on a T-32 is the hole itself.
Unless you're a T-69, watch out on the side. Watch out for the tracks.
Yeah,
But otherwise, you're fine.
that fizzle.
Mm-hmm.
And the shot fired from Militant, looks like. Did not connect anywhere. Past the 5-minute mark now. And there is a tank on the Hammer Time flag cap.
Oh, here comes the push. Jackie Rudo just going up and over. Connects onto photo finish. Following them up, Antonio Handsome and Militant. Jackie's trying to juke as hard as he can. He's got to get all the shells out before he dies. He's got one more hit, and he goes down.
Was he able to get it?
He didn't get the kills. Friction.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get the kill, but I think at the last shot. Friction is low. Overlord Prime reloading. Still trying to maintain that one tank on the flag cap to keep all the tanks engaged here. Son of Hail is the one on the FNATIC flag cap.
Now Soviet is about 20 seconds out of reload. Overlord Prime looking, is spotted, takes a hit, and it looks like he's, wow, a lot of damage, 759, one more shell. Antonio Handsome takes him down.
Beautiful volley for FNATIC on that one target. That's how you have to piece apart the enemy when they're open like that. You focus down which tank to engage upon, and then you annihilate him. Zazi's the next target. Soviet wants him. He's on the run. Zazi's not going to escape. Soviet gets the kill. NYPD's the last one left alive for Hammer Time, and he's going to be hidden far away, close to the flag cap. He's able to get a kill. Now he falls back. FNATIC should just go for the flag. Go to the north, go for the flag. Don't try to chase his 1390. There's plenty of places he can go to in the southeast. Go for the guaranteed win.
I don't know. You can get it delayed, especially the right shot at the right time.
That's true. We'll at least put 2 tanks up there and have the other one look for the crossfire, or the cross engagement, I should say.
Oh,
Like it's like cutting him off from the,
yeah,
the
just
east
cut him
side.
off. Screen it.
You don't have to necessarily kill him, just track him. Just
Screen the cap.
absorb the shots. Minute 18 on the flag cap. NYPD's almost reloaded.
Took him long enough, jeez.
And there he is. And he spots Antonio Handsome.
Antonio knows. He knows that there's someone over to the east, and with that, that's enough intel for Antonio and Militant to be prepared for NYPD's approach. Antonio, though, will kind of hold back instead of pushing on up. Looking for their tank. NYPD, brilliant movement, is able to actually get around being
45 seconds. Wow, NYPD bounces all over the place here.
Now Militant not quite sure where to look off to. Antonio knows he's spotted again. Yet again. And now Soviet is looking right in the perfect direction.
30 seconds.
He knows. And Soviet at least knows where NYPD will likely come from.
NYPD's going to pop up over the railroad. He sees Soviet, lines up a shot, and does not fire yet. Oh, he does. He gets a reset. But I don't think that did any damage to Soviet.
No, none at all. It was only a track shot. And because of that, Soviet, one shell left. Easy time.
Here comes Militant and Antonio Handsome. Antonio Handsome now reloading. Soviet's going to leave the flag cap. Oh, shot on Militant. NYPD's 4 shells left. Soviet has 1, and he gets it. FNATIC is up 2-1 against Hammer Time as we move on to battle number 5.
Is anyone really surprised, though?
I'm surprised that Hammer Time is able to hold out so long against FNATIC.
I don't know. After the last time they fought, I feel like these guys are the kind of teams that are going to meet, and we're going to see a long series no matter what. It doesn't matter if every battle's fast. It's going to go to the max number.
Yeah.
We might see a tiebreaker. If we do, it's because Hammer Time wins this next one. If FNATIC is able to win or even draw, they will win.
Yeah. One battle away. If it is a win for FNATIC, or it goes into tiebreaker. The impressive tiebreaker that we saw, it was it in the preseason?
Which tiebreaker are you talking
It
about?
was FNATIC. I think it was Fnatic versus Sim. They went to a tiebreaker, and Fnatic
Oh,
performed
yeah.
so well on Corellia.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very impressive. And if that scenario does happen, if Fnatic can perform the same thing that they did against Simp, against Hammer Time, GG.
Yeah, or the defense that we saw on Corellia earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way you defend on Corellia. It's very difficult to attack. Yeah, exactly. It's just not a lot you can do, especially when there's IS-3s and stuff. You need mobility in order to actually just get around Corellia as a map, and you don't bring enough hit points. Your opponent can bring 5100s, IS-3s. They don't have to move very far from their base at all. They don't need the mobility at all, not the 1390s or anything. They can just bring heavy tanks with armor.
Well, here we go. Hammer Time needs to pull a card out of the sleeve or something in order to take down Fnatic on Himmelsdorf. Fnatic is up 2-1. Fnatic can play completely defensively and still win the side if it turns into a draw. Randall, battle number 5. What do we have for tanks?
Mirror matchups.
Mirror matchup.
3 5100s and 2 IS-3s for either side.
All right, here we go. It's time to find out which team can perform better with these tanks. Again, as I mentioned, Fnatic is up 2-1. And they can choose to engage when they want, if they want to at all. It's more up to Hammer Time. It's Hammer Time's match to win. Battle number 5 here today. Man, it's been quite a night, Randall. Seen some very, very, very passive play from some teams today as they're first trying to experiment and see how some of the guys are going to perform that they have on the roster. And then we saw some very, very fast play today with River of Blood.
Yes, really did like seeing what River Blood brought. Captain Blood's got a good handle on his guys.
Yeah.
And no Googly Bobber's going to stop them.
No, indeed. And look at this. Fnatic is committed to the hill.
It's all of them. Every tier 8. T1s are going to do something else.
Yeah, T1s are going to scout. They're going to hang back.
Or drive in circles in the open.
This is on anyone else. Focus on the first tank you see.
That's basics.
And if it's a 5100, even better. Even better. And if they kill both the 5100s up here, booyah. Look how close they're getting. NYPD, Drynets. Son of Hail is the T1 along with them. And they spot one of the tier 8s. They spot the T1. They don't spot Drynets and NYPD. And they're going to bug out. Are they leaving? No, NYPD could not move fast enough. And they're leaving.
And it looks like Soviet might leave. Militant might leave. Jackie is going to leave. Militant and Jackie are leaving. Soviet as well, taking the safe route away. Antonio Handsome looks like he's going to be the rear guard for this one, staying behind for a little while or maybe permanently.
Well, Hammer Time is going to focus on Tank Alley. And they're going to get more map control by pushing. Fnatic still trying to place themselves in the right position. They spot one.
It's Militant 83 as he crosses butt.
Nitz gets hit.
That's by friction. Return fire does not connect onto him as he reloads. Militant looking also for something to fire on. Who will be the lucky one to take a 122 shell? No one. No one is up for the challenge. Very unfortunate. Field start cap or just wreak havoc all over the back lines.
Photo finish and Drynets are now moving towards the west. T1s will be going up towards the north to scout for them. Fnatic has drawn themselves a line in the sand, waiting for Hammer Time to come towards them first. However, they still have hill control. And if Fnatic is able to guess, because they're not going to be able to scout, but if they're able to guess where some of these hold down positions or these just defensive positions are for Hammer Time, they could maybe get some shots from the hill. Not going to be the case now, as one of the tanks is going to leave the hill itself. And Drynet's photo finish and Zazie are going to be completely over to the west, while the remainder of the tier 8s, Overlord, Nitz, and photo finish, NYPD, will be towards the east. Nitz takes a big hit, though. Caught off guard, Soviet and Jackie Rudo and Militant can now push against him. Isolation principle is now in effect from Fnatic. However, they have to be careful because they don't know where the rest of the tanks are. Scouting is going to be so crucial in the next matter of seconds between both these teams. Overlord Prime has been hit as well. And here comes the tanks around the corner. They're not going to fully commit. Notice that, Randall, they're not fully committing yet. They're still going to try to play a corner game, and they get the kill. They're still behind cover, even though Militant just took a hit.
And they're going to be hesitant to move out in the open. They want to make sure they keep track of their angles. Wow, bounce off the back of an IS-3, and down goes Friction to NYPD.
And shots from behind. Overlord Prime's almost down. Antonio Handsome can get it. He has to turn quicker, though, and he's able to get it. However, he has to pull back because there's more tanks around the corner. NYPD's one of them. Now NYPD has to reload. The two T1s going to the south. This is the FNATIC that I know. This is the type of engagement we were waiting to see, but Hammer Time is still going to make them work for it. Drynet's pushing up with 3 shots left. Militant stopping him. Jackie Rito trying to escape. Militant is able to hold. Jackie Rito, however, is still in trouble. Militant falls. Drynet's used his last shot against Militant, allowing Jackie Rudo to live. Photo finish around the corner, is not able to get it. Jackie's able to escape just in time. But is it enough time for Hammer Time to get to the south?
Soviet's able to get the kill onto Zazzy, and with that he has 5 shells left to start hunting for 5100s. And they're all so delicious right now.
10 seconds left on the flag cap. Drynet's is moving as fast as he can, right behind NYPD. NYPD could get there in time. 3, 2, 1, and FNATIC is able to capture the base. They're able to take the series 3-1